Welcome back to another episode of the Buzzworthy Consultant Podcast, where we talk with consulting industry leaders like today's guest, Liam Darmody, who is the founder of Liam's Brand Stand, a consultancy helping bold founders build magnetic brands and scale soul-aligned businesses. Liam excels at working with entrepreneurs who have outgrown their early-stage hustle and are ready to build something more intentional. His philosophy: the best businesses are the ones that feel like you. Let's see what makes Liam so buzzworthy. Liam, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No worries. No worries. Now, where are you calling in from?
I am outside of Raleigh, North Carolina right now. I'm in a suburb called Apex.
Okay, you're just a few hours south of me here.
I know.
In Richmond, Virginia. Now, do you golf?
I do golf occasionally. I haven't golfed as much in the last 5 years since my kids have been young as I did prior.
Yes.
And I don't golf well, but I get out there every now and then. I will say golf is more enjoyable now that I have kids than it was before I had kids.
Because it is the treat that
it is an uninterrupted silent walk where I get to hit a ball and just be out there hanging out, relaxing with my thoughts. So it's a little different.
Actually, got my wife to drive me around because she refuses to golf.
Yeah.
But she's driving around, and about 4 holes in, she's like, "So you guys just hit this little white ball and then chase it around looking for it?"
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
Left and right, and 20 feet, 20 yards, and 100 yards, and 300 yards, and there's just no
then a half a yard
continuity to anything. Yeah, terrible.
Well, I feel like my golf game is about as good as I am with LinkedIn, because like I've been at golf for a very long time, and I've really only got serious with golf the last 4 seasons, and now I'm like, why am I not better? Because I don't feel like I'm that much better, but the consistency is there. I do feel like there's some things happening, and my LinkedIn is exactly the same. I've always been on LinkedIn, but it wasn't just until like the last few years where we decided to really get serious about only working with B2B service-based businesses at Buzzworthy, right? And so I've been kind of focused on that. And I have a couple of friends who have like completely scaled and actually even exited their businesses, and most of their business was coming from LinkedIn. So I know it can happen, but for some reason, I just don't feel like I'm getting that traction. So I know that if I'm having that issue, and I've been doing marketing for 20 years, and social media to me is pretty simple, but I think it comes down to some idiosyncrasies. And so I feel like if I'm having that kind of problem, our listeners are having that problem. So I said, all right, I have to have the resident LinkedIn specialist come to the show and share just a couple of nuggets that'll point us in the right direction of like getting some traction, because all of us here in the consulting industry, we have something to give, and we really do want to give. It's not a marketing ploy as far as I'm concerned, the good ones anyway. And so maybe the first question I have to ask is like, what are most of us doing wrong that are business consultants?
I think the single most important thing for anybody on LinkedIn to realize is that it's not about the content, which is a weird thing for a marketer to think, right? Because
especially a content marketer.
Marketing is all about content. The value of a platform like LinkedIn is that you have so much access to first-party data on this platform because people voluntarily offer it up. Right? You don't have to pay to figure out what titles they have. You don't have to pay for where they're located, what seniority levels they are. All of that is there. So all you have to do is kind of figure out how to navigate the platform to build an audience that will see the content that you're putting out there and make sure that that audience is targeted towards your ICP. So, I have been teaching LinkedIn strategy formally now for about 2 years, and a lot of times people are surprised to find out that the content strategy piece doesn't really come into the 3rd week of my core curriculum. And the reason for that is because there's so many other factors that come into play that I think people need to master before they even touch the content play. The first, obviously, is you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile functions like a landing page. I think a lot of people underestimate how many features LinkedIn has for us to show what we know how to do. LinkedIn has a services section, for example. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you can see 41 5-star reviews from paid clients. And that is social proof that you cannot find, anywhere. And I think LinkedIn is building these types of features and functionality because they don't want to let Google My Business own all of the local storefronts, right? Online.
Right.
So LinkedIn's getting into that space now. And I think that's really interesting. You want to make sure that your about section is really well thought out and really effectively written. I mean, you've got 2,600 characters to work with in that section. And, it's indexed by every major search engine as well as some of the AI tools. So, you want to make sure that that's an accurate reflection and representation of what you do, why you do it, how you do it, who you help. And more importantly, who you are and why you do what you do. I think a lot of times people they undersell themselves. They don't show the reasons, the passion behind what they do on LinkedIn. It's a corporate buttoned up professional platform. So why would I talk about the fact that I like hot sauce? Well, I have 65 hot sauces behind me on my bookshelf. And half of those were sent to me by people on LinkedIn who just wanted to talk to me because I was interested in this thing. And some of those people turned into clients, right? So people do business with people. It's a very natural instinct. And LinkedIn is becoming a fantastic platform for showing people who you are as a person and why you do what you do. And if you can attract people to your personality and your personal brand, then they'll want to know what you do and they'll want to know more about that and they'll want to potentially work with you. And so that's one of the reasons that it's so advantageous. I'll also say you have to invest in a really solid headline, right? Like your headline is probably the most valuable real estate you have on LinkedIn because it follows you everywhere. Every comment you leave, every, message that you send somebody, like that is following you. So a lot of people just put, I am a content marketer at X company. Boring. No originality, no, unique value proposition. And you've done a great job there, right? Like you've added some very interesting pieces about your business, like creator of the.
Are you looking at my profile right now?
Yeah, of course. You said.
Oh my gosh! All right, now this is gonna be a first for the show. We're looking at screens other than the cameras that we're talking to. I love this.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it. I can even share my screen.
If you want to, go for it. I'm easy with whatever you want to do. It's your
All right,
show.
hold on a second. Let me find out where you're at now. I got two screens here. All right, keep going. Keep talking.
So, I mean, your headline, right? Building predictably profitable revenue engines for consulting, advisory, and professional services firms. That's a phenomenal intro to your headline because it very succinctly conveys the value proposition of your marketing organization. It says who you're helping, how you're helping, and why. You're creator of the focus framework that's been trademarked. That tells me that you have a legitimate trademark on something, and that is something that many marketers do not have. So that's intriguing. Fractional CMO. And author of the Rule of 26, which is, again, a registered trademark. These things add professionalism and credibility to you, and all in 220 characters, right? Like you've done a very good job with the 220 characters that you have.
Thank you.
And so I think a lot of people underestimate that. And like the first 50 characters in particular are super important because those are the first things that people see when you leave a comment on LinkedIn. Right. The rest of it gets cut off. So you kind of want to make those first 55 characters in your headline really pop. So that's kind of the profile piece, right? And, just making sure that it accurately reflects the work that you do, why you do it. You've got, a link in here for people to get their free copy of the Rule of 26. A lot of people don't even know that you can add a link in your LinkedIn profile for a lead magnet. That is a good thing to be doing for a number of reasons. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, how are you creating a network on this platform, right? You've got 1 billion professionals on here and you've got access to, it's basically the world's largest CRM and all the leads are built into it already. You just have to find the ones that you want to put into your funnel and create content that speaks to them at the very top of the funnel, and then build connections and relationships with them that move them further down the funnel. And so, for me, that means really getting a good understanding of how to use LinkedIn to search for people. I use Sales Navigator. If you're somebody who's doing business development on LinkedIn, Sales Navigator is an absolute must-have. If you're working with somebody who's training you LinkedIn go-to-market strategy and they don't use Sales Navigator, you should exclude them from your list, because this tool is super powerful. Right. So, really you want to make it so that your feed is something that inspires you, informs you, entertains you, and gets you interested in conversing anytime you show up on the platform, because conversation is very important on LinkedIn. And that's something that separates LinkedIn from other social networks, I think. And, Instagram, TikTok, a lot of it's just people are doom scrolling. They want to get entertained. They might leave a comment on something, but you never see the creator responding to the comment. LinkedIn, conversely, there are comment threads that are just hundreds of comments long. And there's people that kind of want to go in there and look at all the different comments that other people are leaving. Like, relationships are formed in the comments on LinkedIn. So that is another piece that is so, so critical. And once you've mastered that strategy, then we can talk about content, right? From a content standpoint, I'll typically tell people to put their content into 3 buckets. The first bucket is your scope of genius. Okay. That is the work that you do, why you do it, how you do it, who you help. These are your sales and marketing posts. They're probably not going to get as much engagement as other types of posts that are more personal or more vulnerable, or, a little bit more popular about what's trending in the world, but they will likely convert leads more effectively. So you have to put the vanity metrics aside and just kind of focus on that. That should be like 60% of your posts. The middle bucket is fascination. There will always be people in your network, right? You have a network of almost 10,000 people on LinkedIn. They're not all going to be clients of yours, but there's plenty of people in your network who like who you are and want to support you. So you have to give them something to latch onto, right? And so I tell people 30% of your content should just be content that talks about things that you're fascinated by. You could, at any point in time, talk about this till you're blue in the face, go to a coffee shop and riff on it for a couple of hours with people that are passionate about the same thing. And really let them get to know who you are. So for me, like, this is where I talk about, artificial intelligence, Web3. I talk about cryptocurrency. I talk about blockchain. I talk about hot sauce. Like, these are all the things
that's not your part of what you do.
That's right. It's who you are. It's who you are. What lights you up, right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I'm the worst at. In all of my social media, like I'm the guy who throws the 100 pictures from a vacation after I'm on vacation. I suck at bringing my phone out while I'm on vacation, right?
Yeah.
And people don't. They think that's all I do, because that's the only thing I ever post.
I'm the same way. If you looked at me on Instagram or TikTok, you'd be like, that guy does branding for a living? What? Like, I'm not. I'm just not there. But the beautiful thing about LinkedIn is that it's a place where you can share your thoughts and your lived experience, and you have no shortage of content there, right? We have 50,000 thoughts a day that run through our head. There's got to be one of them that's worth sharing online with our network, right?
Right.
Hopefully. And so, that's really the fascination piece. Like, let people get to know who you are, what makes you tick. Like, outside of what you do for a living, what do you like to do? Golfing, right? And my wife won't play golf with me, but she drives me around. She doesn't understand what the purpose is of going golfing and why you guys just run around spending all this time hitting balls in random places and getting frustrated by the scoring, right?
I could probably get my wife to take pictures of me sucking at golf.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then I could just and then we could play with those. So there you go. So This shot right here reminds me of this thing.
Exactly. So that's like, the fascination piece is like the 30% of the content. And then I would say 10% of your content should be stuff that's really relatable and highly personal, like personal content. Give me a window into your personal world. So, things that you struggle with, things that, maybe you're a little bit unsure about, insecurities that you might have. I talk about my weight loss journey, right? Like, there aren't many people posting pictures of themselves at 300 pounds on LinkedIn, but the best post I had in the last 365 days was me dressed on Halloween as a s'more, because I just had this big marshmallow belly, and people were like, look at this guy. Like, what is he doing? But it resonates because people are like, that takes courage and guts. Right. And like, that's one of the things that I think I call LinkedIn the emotionally intelligent social network. And
I love that.
That is
trademark it.
Something that I think a lot of people don't realize. Like, they're like, oh, if I post on LinkedIn, I'm going to somehow say something stupid that's going to jeopardize an opportunity for me. The flip side is also true. You could say something that creates a massive opportunity for you, right? Like, I'm doing what I do now because I posted on LinkedIn and somebody found me randomly and was like, I think that guy would be amazing in brand marketing.
Right.
I had no brand marketing experience at all. Nothing on my
Right.
resume, nothing in LinkedIn said branding or marketing. I was an operations guy. But
Right.
because I was showing up as myself here, somebody had faith to take a leap of faith in me and
Right.
give me a crack at something that they thought I'd be good at. And it ended up working out really well. So, you
Yeah.
never know who's watching, and you never know what opportunities they might have. So, but you'll miss them if you don't show up. So that's
I have a friend who he runs a networking company, a B2B networking company. And he is a goat guy. He owns a little hobby goat farm.
Donnie Bovine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. You
Yeah,
know who
Johnny.
told him to post goats?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The goat Monday morning goat or something like that.
Sundays
Yeah.
are for the goats.
Yeah.
Guess who told him that he should post goats?
He what?
Guess who told him he should be posting about
You're the one
goats?
that told him like you got to post the goats?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, he's also into like isn't he also into medieval
Yeah, he's
role playing stuff
Renaissance festivals,
Renaissance,
like
that's it.
all that.
Renaissance fair stuff. Yeah. So yeah, those are like the two things that he does share. I think he does more than 10%, but
Yes, that's fine. It'll change for other folks. It doesn't really, it's your own personal preference, but that's a perfect example of the power of the personal brand.
Right.
As soon as you said goats, I said Donnie.
Because it's so unique. Like for me,
Right.
I play guitar. It's like I get it's for somebody like me. I'm an old Xer, right? And so we didn't grow up documenting what we did. We grew up we just do what we do, right?
Yep.
And then if somebody asks, like, what do you do? You go, oh, okay, well, I do blah blah blah. You ask, so I'll tell you, right? Type of thing. That's just our mentality, right? And then I've been thinking about it, it's like I have this gorgeous guitar room. There's actually a music room. We have a little mini grand piano that I'm just learning how to play. I actually bought for my wife so she could play it. And I have all my guitars and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe I just riff on my guitar a little bit and just say, hey, man, feeling a little bluesy today. I'm going to give you a little riff. And then like 30 seconds of me just playing. And then that's it.
Can I challenge you to do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
You walk into that one.
We're doing it too now.
I guarantee you that would get a tremendous reaction from your network.
All right. Okay. I like, it's so weird because I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years now. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for longer than that, but like a full-time entrepreneur for 20 years. And I'm just never like, who wants to know? Like, who cares? But like you said, like and I say the same thing. I was like, people buy from people. So when we do marketing, we're always like, hey, make sure your values are part of your message. Make sure your mission is intertwined. Make sure your passion is reflected. Make sure that your culture is shared so that people understand what they're getting into and what the type of people they're doing business with and stuff like that. So I guess it's just like that next level of just like kind of letting your guard down. And I think that's hard for people who are a little more private with their life.
That's fair.
And I think that, the older us old folk, us Xers, and even my parents, I mean, they don't care that anybody knows, right? Like it's not part of what, at the end of the night of anybody knowing whether I went to Portugal last month, do they care? Right. Now I do it on Facebook and stuff like that, because I know that's where my family and my old friends and the military background, all those people that are there, and they want to know, like, hey, Buzz got, because they know that I also spent 13 years hunkered down in a business that owned me.
Right.
So now they're celebrating me, going, man, you get to go to so many cool places. Yeah. But I also went through hell to get there. Right. Like they already know that because they know me, type of thing. And so on my LinkedIn, I haven't done that. So yes, you have now challenged me to,
you're gonna jam on your guitar in your awesome guitar room.
Yes.
And you're gonna see people react in a way that you haven't seen before. I guarantee it.
All right. I'm gonna say yes. So I got a little ditty, here it goes.
and to be honest too, like, think about the other thing that I always say to people is, we're in this interesting part of the evolution of the internet where, we all started migrating onto the internet, and we all sort of set up shop in different social platforms with people that we already knew. We took offline relationships and we put them online, and then we started sharing our updates with them to keep them in the know.
Right.
Every single friend you've ever had started out as a stranger.
Right.
So on LinkedIn, I treat LinkedIn as a place. I say all the time, I always use William Butler Yeats's quote, "There are no strangers here, only friends you haven't yet met." And that resonates to me because that has been my experience on the platform the past 5 years. I have a global network now that it consists of nobody from my prior my prior existence. Like they're all in my
Right.
network, but like they don't comment on my stuff. All the people that I
Right.
talk to on a daily basis are people from all over the world who just found me here. And for some reason, they wanted to follow me and pay attention. And so,
Yeah.
you know, that's what it's all about for me. It's finding new connections and building new connections with people. I think that's the next wave of the internet, is finding people all over the world who can help enrich our lives.